Hello, hello, hello. Hello, one and all, short and tall, big and small. I'm so honored that you are choosing to spend time with Amina from Kingston, Jamaica. When goat me down, tell me where corrida go do. When goat me down, tell me where corrida go do. And Nancy had to find a way to solve that problem. Because a long time ago, Corey was involved with everything. Goat meat, goat skin, goat bone. So when goat me done, tell me where corrida go do. And when goat meat done, curry turn to chicken. Chicken back, chicken wing, chicken legs, all chicken liver. And when that finished, then the whole village realized that they had a problem. There was a drought, and everybody started to maga down. I suppose they would call that the drought diet. Everybody got so thin, and Ananse grew weary and grew sad at watching his entire family dwindle down to nothing. Him wife get thin, him son get thin, him daughter get thin. And when Ananse started to get thin now and his skin wasn't so beautiful anymore, Ananse decided that he would go in search of food. Ananse's search for food took him many miles, far away from home, deep into a forest. And when he was deep in the forest, Ananse saw a pot. Ananse had never seen a pot like that before. It wasn't too big, but it was beautiful. It had some beautiful symbols painted all over it. Of course, Ananse hadn't seen those symbols before, so he didn't know what they were. But this pot was painted with the eye of fern. This pot was painted with the Jinamis symbol. This pot was painted with the double axe of Shango. Ananse examined the pot. Ananse walked around the pot, and finally Ananse said, "What a pretty little pot!" And to his surprise, the pot responded, "Don't call me pretty little pot." Ananse said, so what I must call you? The pot said, "Call me Do Make Me See." And before Ananse finished saying "Do Make Me See," the pot bubbled up all the things that Ananse would enjoy. Curry goat, and when Ananse eat off that, the curry turned to chicken back. Ananse eat off that, the curry turned to curry beans. Ananse eat off that. And when Ananse belly was quite full, the pot gave Ananse some instructions. The pot said, "Ananse, whenever you're hungry, you can come into this forest at this very spot and you can say, 'Do make me see.' But you are never to wash this pot, Ananse, and you are never to tell anybody that you found this pot. This pot is your personal pot." Ananse had a real dilemma. What was he going to tell his wife and children? How was he going to take food home for them? The pot was quite clear in the instructions. This was Ananse's personal pot. But Ananse's wife and Ananse's children, no fool. So every day they noticed that more and more Ananse was putting on weight, and Ananse's skin was getting really bright and black and beautiful and shiny. And so one day they decided to follow Ananse to see what he was doing. And they listened and they saw when Ananse approached the pot pot and said, Do make me see. And the pot cook up. And they watched, and they saw, and they listened when Ananse walked up to the pot and said, Do make me see. And all the delicious things that Ananse loved came out of that pot. And Ananse eat 1 bellyful, 2 bellyful, 3 bellyful. When Ananse belly full, Ananse left the pot as the pot had instructed him. And Mrs. Ananse and the children watched as Ananse went back home. And as soon as Ananse went back home, Mrs. Ananse and the children marched up to the pot. Your mother ever tell you see and blind, hear and deaf, left one or trouble you? But they had not received the instructions, so they walked up to the pot, and Mrs. Ananse declared, What a pretty little pot. And the pot said, No call me pretty little pot, call me do make me see. Do make me see what? And the pot showed her a thing or two. Stew beef, gungo peas stew, rice and ackee, and all the children had a wonderful time. And fearing that Ananse would discover that they had interfered with the pot, Mrs. Ananse washed out the pot. And so the next time when Ananse was hungry, and Ananse went into the forest and walked up to that pretty little pot and said, Do make me see. No curry goat. Do make me see. No curry chicken. Do make me see. No curry beans. No chicken back, chicken foot, chicken neck, or nothing at all. Ananse was so disappointed. Ananse was so flabbergasted. Ananse was so confused. Ananse could not understand what had happened to his pot. So Ananse went home to think. Unbeknownst to Ananse, as soon as he left, Mrs. Ananse and the little children came up and went to the pot. Do make me see. No rice and peas. Do make me see. No gungo curry. Do make me see. Nothing, absolutely nothing. The pot had lost its magic. And to make matters worse, one of Ananse's little children get vexed and pick up the pot and smash it to the ground into several pieces. And they went home. The next day, being so concerned for his family's welfare, Ananse decided that he really had to find something for them to eat. So Ananse went walking through the forest. He didn't see the pot. He didn't even see the pieces of the pot. Ananse saw a beautiful whip with carving on the stick. Beautiful camel hair, horse hair, or some kind of exotic hair. Ananse took up that whip. Ananse examined that whip. Ananse said, What a pretty little whip. And the whip responded, No call me pretty little whip. Call me do make me see. Do make me see what? Ananse get her beaten. Ananse black and blue all over. Ananse left the whip right there on the ground, vowing never to come back even close to it. Unbeknownst to Ananse, Mrs. Ananse and the children had followed him, but they didn't see the beating that Ananse had received. They looking for another pot. Instead, they found this beautiful whip with carvings on the handle and camel hair or horse hair or tiger hair or some kind of exotic hair. And they took up the whip and examined the whip and then declared, "What a pretty little whip!" And the whip said, "Don't call me pretty little whip. Call me do make me see." And you can imagine what happened. Mrs. Ananse, son Ananse, daughter Ananse, little daughter and little son Ananse got the whipping of their lives. And that's how they learn. See I'm blind, hear and deaf, left one not trouble you. But they still had to contend with the drought. And they still had to find out, when what me done, tell me where corridor go do. When what me done, tell me where corridor go do. For curry cook the meat, curry cook the bone, cook the goat skin too. When goat meat done, you turn your hand, make fashion.
This.
Arriba to the
This.
Arriba to the banco van.
This.
Arriba to the banco van.
This.
One did they go valley, take him, put him down the alley.
Aye. This.
Arriba to the banco van.
This.
Arriba to the banco van.
This.
No, did they go valley?
This.
One did they go valley, take him, put him down the alley.
This.
Arriba to the banco van.
This.
Arriba to the banco van.
This.
No, did they go valley?
This.
No, did they go valley?
This.
One did they go valley, take him, put him down the alley.
This.
Arriba to the banco van.
This.
Arriba to the banco van.
This.
No, did they go valley?
This.
No, did they go valley?
This.
No, did they go valley?
Arriba to the banco. Arriba to the banco.
No, did they go valley? No, did they go valley? No, did they go valley?